Alright, so I just wanted to go on a quick little rant here. So I've been watching The Simpsons, and I've been recently watching more of the later seasons. I usually watch up to like maybe season 6 or 8, but I've been watching around season 10, 11, a little bit of 12, trying to expand a little bit more, and most of the episodes actually are pretty solid. However, while watching these, I had a thought. I was like, I remember the Simpsons movie that came out in 2007. And I remember watching episodes of The Simpsons at that time. And after the movie came out, they changed the opening. They had given like an HD opening a season or two prior. And after the movie, I remember an opening that featured the dome from the movie. And it was like broken. And I vaguely remember this maybe lasting a season or two. It was not that long. And I was like, yeah, what about that? So I went to go find it, and I could not find that opening on Disney Plus. Unless it was in maybe like a handful of episodes, I could not find it. So I was confused, to say the least. I was even more confused to realize that in 2007, at least on Disney Plus, The Simpsons have the original opening still, and I thought that they had upgraded to the HD opening by then. And then I got a little curious of like, why did they change it? Like, it was pretty solid. I don't know why you would fix something that isn't broken. It made me think, what is The Simpsons doing now? I haven't watched fucking new episodes of Simpsons, and I couldn't tell you how long. I think the last season I watched was parts of like season, I don't know, maybe 20? Basically, I did a little research, and I looked at a couple episodes from the last 5-6 seasons or so to see what's going on. And my goodness, half of the episodes I looked at have cold openings. No couch gag, no nothing. Which is bizarre. I feel like the opening, specifically the couch gag, is like kind of like the Simpson thing. You know, them on the couch is like an iconic thing when, you know, you're talking about, I don't know, the fucking Simpsons. Family Guy has done the same thing. They've done cold openings or very quick little theme hits before each episode, but it's not as jarring as this. I don't know why, but this is more jarring. They put thought into their opening. At least, you know, again, that fucking couch gag at the end. And you felt a bit of that creativity and care that they kind of put into it. They put so much care into it, they put a little goofy joke that most people probably won't see. I don't know. It has baffled me that this is now a thing, and this is the world we live in, and that The Simpsons are still on and still making new episodes. It's fucking crazy. Growing up, I didn't pre-order games a lot, mainly because nothing really sparked my interest. There were a few exceptions. I remember 4 specifically that all happened in the year 2013. They would end up teaching me a very important lesson. The first was Batman Arkham Origins, the third of the Batman Arkham series, and the game serves as a prequel setting up the world these games have been based in. Unfortunately, the game was not published by Rocksteady Games like the previous 2, but Warner Bros. Montreal instead, leaving the game to have a whole mess of issues, a big one being the new addition of an online mode where you can play random people online and sometimes you're Batman. However, the problem with this is WB decided to make the game's whole interface connected to the internet. So when I got the game on release and tried playing it, I couldn't load into the fucking game because the whole fucking system was having a meltdown because everyone was trying to play this fucking game at once. Who the fuck am I? I don't know. The game itself really does feel like a husk of its former self. It's just stale and the combat feels flimsy and the story is so infuriating. Basically, Black Mask is set up to be the main villain, but nope, it's actually the Joker again, and there's a Snake Lady, and basically the Shocker. Don't even get me started on the Deathstroke fights. Like, fuck off. Another game I pre-ordered was Saints Row 4, another soulless entry in, at the time, successful series. I loved playing Saints Row 3. It was like GTA meets Adult Swim, absolutely off the wall, batshit crazy fun. But Saints Row had a much more cartoony vibe. than GTA, leaving Saints Row to more lean into the camp and offensive side of comedy. However, the fourth game sees your character as the president in a world that's been taken over by aliens. With a neat concept, it's wild how many backsteps they took on this one. It's very clear that the whole game was planned as DLC for the third game, but for some fucking reason it was stretched out to its own game. Besides having a very stripped down version of the previous game's open world, the game also focuses on your character getting superpowers. I remember playing this and getting incredibly bored very quickly. The powers just make everything easy, and it makes using guns pointless at times. It's a case of more is not better, and was just the start of their prolonged downfall. I also remember pre-ordering Injustice, Gods Among Us. Unlike the previous two games, I did enjoy this game, but upon looking back, the game does have some issues. Everything feels slower than, say, Mortal Kombat, a game made by the same studio, NetherRealm Studios. The clash system still confuses the hell out of me, and the whole two-step health bar is just a tad baffling upon reflection. One bar is your armor, and the second phase is your health. But these additions just make the rounds slug along and feel way too long. So maybe the game isn't good. There was another game that I was really excited about, and I did enjoy on the first run, but maybe also upon reflection, it's not as shiny as I thought. And that's Deadpool the video game, which I was just really happy that the thing existed and actually came out. So, yeah, I think that alone made me just absolutely love the game. But, it's still cool that it exists. It's still awesome that it's a thing that happened, but that's kind of about it. Another game that I got in 2013 that I didn't pre-order, but I got it for Christmas, was Call of Duty Ghosts. Man, 2013 was a wild time for video games. But all this did teach me a lesson. Maybe just wait. Maybe just wait. But after 2013, I was more than hesitant to pre-order another game. Then I tried pre-ordering MKX on the PS3, and it was on a waiting list for weeks until they finally announced that it wasn't coming out for the last generation after the game had been out for a whole month. So yeah, I stopped pre-ordering games really after that. Okay, I just have to real quick talk about Frank Miller. Now, I love Sin City. I think the whole world and the characters are fascinating, and the stories told are genuinely engaging. He also had a fantastic run on Daredevil, and the Dark Knight comics are some of Batman's best storylines, maybe even the best storylines in the DC universe. But he really started to take a tumble in a fast one. One of them is a one-off comic called The Holy Terror, and it's about a Batman-like character teaming up with an S&M Catwoman, and they fight terrorists. Yeah, that's actually what it's about. It's bad. It just reads as a fantasy of an angry aging man who's just scared and angry with the world around him. Even the art is some of Frank's lowest. There were times where I was straight up confused at what I was looking at. I found this comic free online, and I would still not recommend it. It's a short read, but I kept having to take breaks. I was so baffled by what I was reading, knowing that this is one of the most beloved comic book artists in the game, and he's just wilding out.